What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to WWPWW Worldwide Wrestling Podcast of Worldwide Wrestling, the #1 podcast in the greater Central Illinois, Logan County area. Fight me. Don't care what anybody else says. Alright, welcome on this cold, early Friday morn. This is going to be the new designated time for recording of this podcast, which good way to start the day.
Yeah.
Hanging with your bros, discussing some wrestling and getting your brain started. Yeah, get your juice flowing. Yeah, so, well, we're going to turn it over first to Jeremy on the news desk.
Well, we have 3 big signings this week by the WWE, one of which is probably the greatest unsigned wrestler, greatest indie wrestler of his generation. There might be a couple more. You could probably put Zack Sabre Jr. You could probably put Will Ospreay on this list, but Ricochet has signed with WWE. I'm super stoked to see how they use him. Hopefully they use him to his best ability. I'm excited to see what they do with him. I hope they don't necessarily put him on 205 Live to start out. I know a lot of people are probably thinking that. I'm fine with it. I think it'll draw people to 205 Live, but I'd like to see him on NXT circuit for a bit. That'd be really fun to watch. Another signing, they signed, is it War Machine, the tag team, which they're pretty 2 huge individuals. I'm excited to see what they can do. And they also signed Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae. Pretty stoked to see what she can do in the WWE. She's been around for a bit. She's been used by WWE, but now is officially signed. So I'm really stoked to see these signings, see where they go, see if they throw them into NXT or if they throw them into the waters of the WWE universe and in other capacities, or what will happen. So I'm really stoked to see that. So that's the first piece of news. The second piece of news is kind of not really news. We shouldn't really be talking about it, but it's the whole scandal of the steroid and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, as well as Josh Duhamel and Marky Mark, have come out and said that's just total lies. So I tend to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like this was kind of some information that wasn't really true. I wouldn't.
Given the source, it's the guy in jail.
Yeah, and so I would probably tend to lean towards these guys as actually being truthful. So there's really not news. It's just something that had come up, and I think it's unfounding. I don't think they're going to find anything. And even if they did, they have each one of those guys have the law on their side in some way, and so I don't think anything is going to come of it. I'm trying to think of anything else that's going on. The 25th anniversary of Raw is next week, which is pretty exciting. They have announced a list of names that are going to be there. It sounds like Kevin Nash won't be there. He's not a big fan of flying and doesn't really want to.
And he also just had a total knee replacement, so he said that it's going to be hard for him to
physically
do
get around.
Stuff, yeah.
And so, and I respect that. Dude knows his limits, and he'll be missed, but sad. I'm trying to think of anything else. Any other news that you can think of?
No, I don't. No, I can't really think of anything. Yeah, just like all those big signings happened, and so that's about the biggest thing.
There's quite possibly going to be some more TNA guys, Impact guys coming over. A lot of people have left the company over the last week. EC3 is one of them. It sounds like he might be headed towards WWE, and so is Bobby Lashley. That's rumors that he's going to go to WWE. Both of those guys they probably won't take the NXT route since they've been in the product before. I would think that they would just throw them into Raw or SmackDown somewhere. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So those 2 guys are probably coming to WWE. Excited about that. I can't think of anything else.
Me neither.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and jump into Raw. I'll go ahead and talk while you sit there and listen to me talk. Raw this week was very, very. Both shows were very, very interesting. Very different from shows in the past. This past week, Raw was mostly Braun Strowman, at least for the first 2/3 of the show, it seemed like, and then it kind of just dropped off after he dropped Cole off at the body pool, if you will. But anyway, it was very Braun-centric, which I'm fine with, because Braun destroyed a lot of things on Raw. I really enjoyed his promo work on this episode. I really loved the Rampage, going backstage and tearing up a couple guys in the back and throwing them around, and then going and finding the production truck. I loved him walking through. What does this do? Hey, throwing stuff around, and then walking through the doors. He just kind of stumbles into it, and is like, "Wait, door big, okay." And then he just walks through. And
also, chocolate cake guy, MVP.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that was
chocolate
hilarious.
Cake guy was hilarious.
That was hilarious. That was the thing I texted you about.
Oh, okay.
That I was just like, dude, something amazing happened. And you're like, with Braun? And I was like, kinda.
That guy was funny, and Braun just takes the cake and just leaves.
Just ramrod stiff, just frozen, like, in fear, and he just looks at it and takes that big piece of chocolate. Like, I died laughing, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait for Jay to see that.
That was really funny. I enjoyed everything that Braun did. I know a lot of people were kind of annoyed with it. Or not a lot of people. Some people were annoyed with how it was handled, but I thought it was funny. I thought he, the tipping over of the truck. My only problem is what is going to happen. Like, he's obviously not going to win the Universal title. That's not in the plans. But they are making him to be just a monster who can destroy anything. It makes me wonder how they're gonna handle this match. Are Kane and Brock going to team up to just destroy him, to get him out of the match, and then Brock wins eventually, or how's that match gonna actually look? I'm interested in seeing what happens with that. So yeah, anything Brock did, the whole rampaging, the going back and tipping over the semi, even though it was kind of weird, or kind of not weird, just kind of crazy, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed him throwing picking up Michael Cole by pants and then throwing him into the group.
And did you see Booker T, like, kind of like pushed him like out of the way when he's like, oh, I'm getting out of here, and like he like pushes Michael Cole like down when he's moving out of the way. So I think that's funny. I hope that was done on purpose. And it's like it's a storyline thing, like, because it seemed like it was like it seemed very intentional. That so oh my god, yeah, hopefully that'll be something.
And it's actually kind of funny because this week was the start of the mixed match challenge, and Michael Cole is one of the commentators for that.
Oh really?
And it's him and
Beth Phoenix
and the guy that does both Raw. Corey. Good grief. So it's Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Beth Phoenix on commentary. And Corey was like, "Hey, it's good seeing you here after what happened." And Michael Cole's like, "Oh, we'll deal with that on Monday." Like, what? So I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And I liked how Tom Phillips replaced him after Michael Cole left.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty fun. That was my favorite thing, I think, about the whole show. I liked seeing Titus Worldwide show up. That was really fun to watch, and the fact that they won.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
And you're right. The cake guy was funny. The whole cake thing was just downright hilarious. So yeah, that was my favorite thing about the whole show. There's not too much that I disliked. Actually, I don't think there's anything I disliked about Raw that I was able to see anyway. I liked Nia's bump that she took on the stairs. I thought that was really well done, and her falling off to make it look like her knee is worse off than it was. I think that was really well done. I liked the match between Roman and the Miztourage. I thought that was really good.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was really good.
And I love the whole Jason Jordan on behalf of my partner stuff. I love that he's doing that on behalf of my partner, and then Seth's like, "You gotta stop doing that." So those are my favorite things about Raw, and the fact that they brought back the curb stomp.
Yeah.
Which apparently wasn't banned because
he broke John Cena's nose doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't banned because of that. It was banned because it was just, I can't remember what I read, but it wasn't banned because of that. It was banned because of some other reason. It was a dumb reason.
Okay.
And so they were trying to get that new move, basically the Rainmaker, but the knee thing.
Yeah.
The King's something that they called it. Should be called the Kingslayer.
That's what I said. I said it should be called the Kingslayer, but
it's King's something.
Yeah.
King's Landing.
Oh,
I think it's
is
what
that?
it's called.
Oh, okay, that's another Game of Thrones thing. But
Is it?
I didn't. Yeah, that's the name of the city that the Iron Throne is in. But yeah, like I'm just like, why do they call it Kingslayer? Whenever he does, Michael Cole just goes high knee, like
Yeah.
like at least give it a name. But it looks like he brought the curb stomp back. So
Yeah, because they couldn't get the King's Landing, the high knee, the Kingslayer that we call it. They couldn't get that over, so they're like, hey, just bring curb stop back.
I mean, doing it as a regular move in the in his moveset, but yeah, as a finisher, it's kind of lame. So
I agree.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool move, but
Finn
just as a finisher, it's not.
Finn looked pretty devastated after that move. But anyway, those are my favorite things about Raw. What about you?
Yeah, I liked pretty much all the stuff you just said you did. There wasn't. I don't remember disliking anything. The pairing of Goldust and Cedric Alexander is so weird, but it kind of works for me. Like,
nice.
Just like, did you see the promo that they got into with Enzo? Like, did they show that? No. It's pretty funny. They basically turned Enzo's thing on him, like, and doing the whole, there's only one word to describe you thing, like, and Cedric Alexander actually did it, like the whole, SAWFT, and then held the mic up, so everybody else was like, soft, like, it was pretty fun.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's just weird that like Goldust is now like Cedric Alexander's hype man, or his like bodyguard or something. It's just like it's weird, but like I dig it. Like I think it's funny, so I'm just like I wouldn't have thought to pair those guys up, but it's working thus far and stuff. And what did he say? Enzo had a really good jab. I forgot what he said though. I mean, it was really good. Dang, dude, it was like really good too. And I can't believe I'm blinking on it. It was hilarious. Anyways, but it's gonna bug me all day now. I'm not gonna be able to pay attention at all today to anything. But so yeah, but all the Braun stuff was good. I really liked it. I loved all of Kurt's reactions to the stuff he was doing. Yeah, just the chocolate cake guy, like, just can't say it enough. That was just absolutely hilarious. Like, that was funny. And yeah, the 2-on-1 Miz-Taraj match versus Reigns, like, I really liked that too. That was good. Can't wait for him and Miz's match.
Yeah.
On next week, which I can't wait to watch that, like, the 25th, anniversary Raw special. Like, can't wait.
It sounds like they're having a pre-show hour-long live thing too. So I don't know. This thing's gonna be huge.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like 4 hours long. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna just be ridiculous. That's pretty awesome though. Yeah. So yeah, really excited for that. To see what happens with all that. And I think the Titus Worldwide stuff. I like that they're having a proper feud with somebody. And with the bar. And so. Because I really like what they're doing with I've said it in the past. I really like the Titus Worldwide thing. It's it's over with me, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I like it. It's funny, and it's like it's like, oh yeah, bring in Apollo Crews, bring in Dana Brooke now. It's just like yeah, good. Give them something to do. They can build personality out of this and build up momentum out of this and stuff. And yeah, I just really like it. There's just something about it that I dig. And yeah, I can't really think of much else. Just all the stuff you said too. I really enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good overall. Nothing I hated at all.
Yeah, good deal.
So all right.
Yeah. What? Sorry.
Raw. Yeah. What would you give this edition of Raw as letter grade?
I give Braun just destroying things an A. I love the fact that he was going backstage and doing all this stuff, and the fact that the cake thing was really funny. The fact that I don't know if you caught when he walked through the door to this other side of the production truck, he went like this. It was like, and then walked through. Like, he's just really funny. He was just really funny, really well done. So I give that an A. The rest of it I give probably a B. Like, there wasn't anything I disliked. I felt like it was mostly. The only problem I had with it was mostly Braun storyline. There wasn't a whole lot of wrestling, and the wrestling was okay. But Yeah, I'd give it a B. There's nothing I
Okay.
hated, but nothing that was like puts it way above
Yeah.
the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Braun gets an A. The Reigns Mr. Oz match definitely gets an A. That was really well done. And yes, but overall the show, solid B. I was thinking that too. Solid B. Not, nothing outstanding that I'm just like, wow, pretty good, but not bad at all. So yeah, it gets a B from the both of us. So all right, we'll go to SmackDown, and I'll take the wheel on this one. So yeah, SmackDown. Overall, I liked it. It's just kind of I don't know if like Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura are using up a lot of their vacation days lately, or what the deal is, but they're kind of coming together. And not a lot of AJ this week, just in backstage stuff, and
Probably saving it for next week, the go home show to Royal Rumble.
yeah, just wow, just can't wait for that.
No.
You gotta come over.
Yeah, I've got it
Sunday
on,
night.
I got it on my
come,
calendar, so in theory that should
You should be able to
allow
come
me to
watch
come
it.
over.
Yeah, because that'd be so sweet, man. That'd be can't wait. It's the Rumble. I love the Rumble.
And it sounds like that's the reason why the U.S. Championship, like they didn't want Royal Rumble to go crazy long, so that's the reason why the U.S. Championship was relegated to SmackDown this week.
Not bad. But yeah. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. It was just like, they must be on vacation, those two guys. Like, and then I conjured up a funny image of my head of them like riding Harleys together, like cross country, like on their vacation, and like they're at like Mount Rushmore, and they're like stand, it's like in between them, and they're like both just pointing at it, smiling, just like hey, like
That's funny.
hashtag brocation or something like that. I just like all these funny images popped into my head of them, like on like a Travel Channel show or something.
Yeah.
Like, Randy and Shinsuke cross country or something. That's Travel Channel, WWE, make that happen.
That's right.
I'm giving you guys gold. Anyways, so yeah, it was really that was just funny to me. Where it's like, they must be using their vacation days, and then my imagination got the better of me and conjured up all these funny images. But I'm trying to think. My favorite thing, honestly, were the 3 U.S. Championship matches. I really, really liked all 3 of them. I thought, especially the final, Jinder versus Rude. Really, really liked that. I thought all 3 of the matches were pretty good. There's the Jinder Xavier Woods one was really good. That was a lot of fun. New Day's beginning to it.
That was good.
It was hilarious. Where for Kofi spent like a minute and a half just like that was hilarious. And then just continuing to get pancakes over, like
Yep.
that was just so funny. Just love New Day. They're fantastic. And so yeah, that match was pretty good. Mojo Rawley versus Rude was pretty good. They're both decent, but then the final one I thought was really good. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was probably my favorite thing of the show was those 3 matches. I thought we have a lot of wrestling going on, and it's pretty enjoyable. And I love when they announced that the final match isn't gonna take place next week. It's gonna take place tonight, and he's just he just backs up and then like he turns around and sees Daniel Bryan and he's staring at him. That was funny. I like stuff like that. So that was funny. I'm blinking on anything else.
That's pretty much it.
Like that was there wasn't much else that happened. Like there was the 6-woman tag match, which was okay.
Yeah,
like it was okay. It was nothing bad, but it just wasn't anything special. It just seemed kind of like a placeholder thing. But yeah, I mean, it was just like Baron Corbin, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura just like filmed the videos of them talking about the Royal Rumble, and it's just like, I mean, besides that, there really wasn't much else like that happened.
No, SmackDown was the U.S. Championship like tournament is what it was, and I understand the reason to do that, but for me, I'm sorry, did you want anything else?
No.
Okay. For me, that took me out of the whole show. I didn't dislike the matches. I felt like Jinder was sloppy in his matches that he did have. There were some times. His best move was the big boot to begin the Xavier Woods match with him. Like that boot was really well done. I would have rather have seen Xavier Woods versus Rude That's just me.
Yeah, maybe
But
hopefully they'll do that.
Yeah,
I understand.
I understand them not doing it. I mean, it's basically babyface versus babyface, and so I understand them not doing it. But for me, it kind of took me out of the whole thing until Daniel Bryan came out, and is kind of continuing this Wishmaker gimmick. He's like, because this is pretty much what happened. Like, hey, why don't we do this tonight? And Jinder's like, oh, we're not going to do this. And he comes out and it's like, and he didn't do it. If he would have done that, you know what? That's a great idea. We're good. Like, he's basically being the Wishmaker.
Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't want anybody to get the raw idea and get screwed by the authority figures like he was. So he's trying to appease everyone.
Yeah.
Almost. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard this though, that the Royal Rumble, like who's going to win the Royal Rumble, the betting odds, he's actually on the list.
Really?
Daniel Bryan is on the list. He's like the third most thought that's who is going to win it. I can't remember who the first and second one are, but he's actually on the list, which is kind of interesting. I don't know.
That is interesting.
I don't know that they would do that. Maybe he's held this really close to his vest. Maybe he will come back for the Royal Rumble, and it would be interesting to see that. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was fine with the matches, but that was just the whole night. It was just their matches doing all that, which is fine. One of my favorite moments was when Byron said "glorious" before the music came on. And Corey's like, "You're not supposed to say that before it came out," or Tom did, whichever one. He's like, "You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to wait for the music to say glorious. Then you say glorious." I thought that was really funny. Saying glorious before the music happens, that was really funny. One of the Singh brothers seemed to be hurt last night.
Oh, really?
Which was pretty sad. Yeah, it looked like an ankle injury. And so, but yeah, my favorite part was Byron saying what he said. Second favorite part was Daniel Bryan coming out and saying, "No, we're going to do this," kind of doing the Wishmaker gimmick. My third favorite thing was I liked the Usos versus American Alpha 2 or Benjamins, or whatever you call them. I like that. I think Benjamin and Gable are actually starting to meld together pretty well. I liked when they came in and were like former champions. I hope that they do win the championship, even though it seems like that's probably not going to happen. So those were my favorite parts. I had my list of cons, the one stuff I didn't like. The fact that I thought Jinder was a little bit sloppy in both of his matches. I really didn't like the women having the handheld camera. Like, that was just back to back. I didn't mind Randy. I thought Randy was.
His wasn't bad.
His wasn't bad. It started off a little shaky, but he ended up being okay. I thought Shinsuke's was okay, but just that handheld camera thing, it threw me off a bit.
What they need to do is put a fixed camera in the corner of the ring.
Yes.
And have them kind of pacing, talking.
Oh yeah.
Like right in front of the camera, but like, well, not like full on, like, like neck to top of head, kind of close, but like kind of just like pacing back and forth, talking it out. Like,
so you can see the middle of the ring, and they can just that would have worked well with Randy, and they would work well with Shinsuke doing his little moves or whatever. But that's a good idea. Hey, WWE,
pay me my money.
That's right. So for me, there were a lot more that I didn't like about SmackDown than I actually liked about it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't. Anyway, it wasn't my cup of tea this week, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, it was like just like, I mean, I really like those three matches, and I love New Day's opening, and I love Daniel Bryan, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of there. It's just like, I get it. It's right before the go home show. You don't want to, play all your cards. So, I get it, but at the same time, we're critiquing these episodes. That's the whole point of this show. So,
yep.
So, anything else before we can close this part out?
That would be it. And so, I guess for a letter grade, I'd give it a C+ for me. Anyway.
C+.
What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe B-, but the more I'm thinking about it, I am just kind of like, I mean, the three matches I enjoyed, and Daniel Bryan was good, New Day, of course, was good, but I mean, it was just there. Like,
it was. If
something's just okay, it's just there. Like, C+, like, it's not the end of the world, but, still, it's nothing spectacular. Yeah, so, I guess we both agree on both the shows this week. Raw gets a B, and SmackDown gets a C+. Go home shows, I hope, are really, really good. Especially Raw 25. I'm sure that'll be ridiculous. Like, some people are gonna suspect that like they're gonna try to have like Stone Cold Steve Austin like get his stamp of approval for Roman to kind of try to get him more over. A lot of people think that's gonna happen. Just because they're so cynical towards anything involving Roman Reigns, so they're just like, look, I know that's what they're gonna do. Like, they're gonna try to force him down our throats more by having Stone Cold come out and endorse him or talk about how cool he is or something. I'm just like, you don't know that? Calm down, bro. Like,
Yep.
and stuff. But
we don't know what any of the legends are gonna do.
Yeah.
They may just come up and show up and be like, hey, how's it going? Like the WWE guys do it on NXT. Like at NXT, they just like show up and like, hey,
yeah, they just wave and they're in the crowd. They just wave like they're the queen and then that's it.
I'm sure we'll get a couple. Most likely, probably from the ladies to say I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There was rumors. I had heard something before I watched SmackDown that Trish Stratus was in the promo package for the SmackDown Legends. Was she? Because I didn't see her.
No, you didn't? Oh.
I didn't, or maybe I just missed it.
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was in it.
Okay. Well, so Trish Stratus, I think she will be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I think she's good enough to go for that.
Yeah.
I think Beth Phoenix will be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. More so than either of them, I think Kelly will.
Yeah, because you told me that she had signed or something.
Yeah, she's like within the past like about a year ago she re-signed, but she was a ambassador, whatever that means. She's signed to WWE as an ambassador, and I'm just like, I'm guessing it just means she like makes like media appearances based on the company or something, like press conferences or whatever. I don't know, but so yeah, and then they started saying that she would be there, so I was like, all right, she'll probably be in the Women's Royal Rumble, and hopefully that would lead to a comeback also, because just see all these legends interact with all the new people, just because it's like we've kind of seen a lot with what the current roster can do, so kind of bring some of those legends back would be kind of fun to see some interaction, kind of spruce things up a little bit and stuff. So
I'd like to see X-Pac back in the ring. I know he's done indie shows, but I'd really like to see them kind of bury the hatchet with him. He's doing really well with his with all the stuff that he's going through, or he had gone through. I'd like to see him back in the ring. I think he could go for another Royal Rumble. Let's do this.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, he was just in the area here, like over the summer.
Yeah, over the summer. Yeah.
I think it was like in June or something like that.
Litchfield or something like that.
I can't remember where it was. No, Pontiac. I think. Wait, Pontiac?
I think it was.
No, it wasn't Pontiac. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he was not too far because like there was a flyer for it up in the Chinese restaurant. So
yeah,
and I was just like, wait a minute, Xbox gonna be around here? Like I can't remember where it was, but yeah. So yeah, that's a cool idea. That'd be really interesting. Yeah, hopefully, I was hoping that they would, like when they announced Hall and Nash, I was just like, oh, hopefully they'll, with Shawn Michaels going to be there too. Hopefully they'll, and then Hunter going to be there too. I was like, well, maybe X-Pac will be there. Have a whole Click reunion.
Can Triple H grow out his hair before then?
No. Yeah, no. He'd probably have to. He'd probably have to wear a wig.
Yeah, he would. That would be funny if he would.
Yeah, that would. And they're just like, aren't you bald? What are you guys talking about? You were just bald like a month ago. No, I wasn't. Come on. No, I wasn't.
We watched you on Jimmy Fallon. You were bald.
And then it's just like, no, I wasn't. That would be funny.
Did you watch the Jimmy Fallon stuff?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
They're apparently Jimmy Fallon is going to be at the Raw 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they basically played them for it. It was a New Day and Jimmy Fallon versus Steph and Triple H. It was pretty good.
That's awesome.
New Day and Jimmy Fallon did one of the songs by anyway, you need to look it up because it's really funny.
Oh yeah.
No, the other one. Not Belle DeVoe, but can't remember off the top of my head. And then the other Stephanie and Triple H, they had two two songs that they had picked from.
Mm-hmm.
That was randomly chosen. It was the song from Moana and a Metallica song. And Triple H said, "Yeah, Metallica, I got that song." And obviously, the one from Moana.
Yeah, he gets the one from Moana.
And Stephanie's like, "Come on, don't say you don't know this song."
That is funny, yeah. Because it's funny, because like they totally seem like Disney-fied parents, like,
They do.
because like I think they have 3 daughters, like.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure all 3 of their kids are daughters. So it's just like, oh yeah, I'm sure he's that dad who's just like, I hate Disney songs, but I know all the words to them.
Yeah.
like he totally seems like that kind of dad. Like
The funny thing about him is hearing about when he first started in the business, how he acted. Like, he just seems like a nerd. Just some of the stories was like, oh, when he came into wrestling, he was very, very respectful, very helping. Like, he would do anything for people. Like, very nerd like. The guy who would carry your equipment into the ring or whatever, or into the stadium or whatever. And so to see him now in the position he's in, and how his, like, that whole persona of him being just kind of the douchiest douche that's ever been, and hearing what he was like, in the backstage, it's kind of funny.
It is. Speaking of funny, I listened to on my way to work, to and from work today. I listened to a couple of Jericho podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Listened to one. He he talked to Austin Aries. I finally listened to that one.
I listened to that one. That was good.
That was good, and it's just like I figured it was gonna be, because like there are all these rumors that like, oh, he hated where he was at in the company, he hated the direction they were going with it, and he was just like, no man, like
They had nothing for me.
Yeah,
so I needed to get paid, basically.
Yeah, and so he
Not
was
a jerky way.
Yeah. He was just like, they're like, I'm sorry, but we have nothing creatively for you. Like, if you want, we can release you. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
like he was just like, no hard feelings. I enjoyed my time there. I had fun doing this. Like, all the cruiserweight stuff was fun. Blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, that's such a refreshing change of pace. I thought this was going to be kind of like a, just because people like were so just fascinated and ingrained with that CM Punk podcast that they hope every time somebody leaves that they're going to do a tell-all podcast where they basically just, throw caution to the wind and, basically do a whole screw WWE type podcast. And this just was not even close to that.
And he's been consistent. Like, I listened to another podcast. I can't remember who it was, but I listened to another podcast, and he was consistent in his stories. It's just that they didn't have anything for me, so which made no sense. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
It makes no sense to me, but it makes sense because it's WWE and their creative is just kind of crazy at times.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. The dude wanted to go because he needed to get paid. I mean, you can't sit around doing nothing.
Exactly, and I think he said he was like just starting like rehabbing like a shoulder injury or an elbow injury or something like that. So it was
perfect timing.
So yeah, and then I also listened to the one he did with Henry Winkler.
That was a good one too.
Dude, holy cow, that dude is just funny. Like, I was just like I expected him to be a little funny, but it's just like, it's very rare that there are people like who like are on sitcoms or do movies and stuff like that who are always funny all the time, and it's just like, and it doesn't seem forced or like, hey, pay attention to me. It's just like, Henry Winkler seems like a really nice guy, and he's so funny, just naturally funny, and it was just funny how like he just like Jericho just kind of seemed a little in awe because he always talks about how much he loves Fonzie and stuff, and he's just like, I feel like I'm talking way too much, Chris. He's like, no, talk all you want. This is why we're here. And like, just like, basically just like having all this reverence and like bowing down to the Fonz. It's just like, well, obviously it's the Fonz. Like, so yeah, I liked that podcast a lot. I thought that one was really, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to download the new app though, because his stuff's on a different podcast app now.
Oh yeah,
he moved to another site. So I mean, they still have his old ones on there, but all the new ones that he does are going to be on this other podcast. And I saw that he did one with Omega, a new one where they're talking about this whole feud that they've done over New Japan. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to download that one. And then he had Kevin and Sammy on.
Were they on? I didn't know, because the way that it was worded. It just says Owens and Zayn together again, and so I was hoping that was the case, that they were actually on.
Yeah.
I think he's got a new one up today too.
Oh, sweet.
True Crime Tales is the next one. So yeah, January 19th. True Crime Tales.
Cool.
Whatever that may be.
Yeah, whatever that means. Well, anything else? I guess we can call this one good. Yeah, our episodes probably aren't going to be that long much. We're probably not going to have too many long. And if we do, we're going to have to split them up over the course of the day, because in between 10:30 and 2:30 we have stuff going on, so we have to, if it goes long, we have to split it up in the day and then splice them together into one show and then put it up later that day. But so yeah, this is new time, same channel, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So yeah, none of you can see this obviously because it's a podcast, but Jeremy is wearing the Happy Rusev Day shirt. I got him for Christmas.
Yes, very, 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 very thankful for it. I was even more thankful when I got home and it actually fit, because T-shirts on me tend to either they don't fit or they don't fit, and so I want to first of all thank you. Second of all, because you get this from WWE.
Yeah, I got it from their website.
It's got a thing on it. WWE, you make a quality product, so I really appreciate that. A lot of the shirts that you get in stores now are super, super thin, like T-shirts, super, super thin.
Yeah.
This is perfect material thinness. So I'm excited I'm able to actually wear a T-shirt now. So
yeah, I hate the really thin
I do too.
cloth T-shirts. I hate
These
that.
aren't bad. This one's not bad. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, the Dean Ambrose shirt I have is pretty good. And then the old school Legend Killer Randy Orton shirt I have is pretty thick. That one's almost too thick though. Because I wore it in the summer one time and I was just like, man, this shirt it's so thick. And it's one of those shirts where the bottom half of the torso is tighter than the top half of the torso, and the sleeves are really long and really loose, so it kind of looks goofy on me sometimes. But anyways. Well, I guess we can call this episode done. Another one in the books. Can't remember what episode this is, like 63 or 64 or 65 or something like
203.
that. Yeah, 203. That could easily be fact checked, but we're confident in our lie that we're not gonna worry.
No fact checking here.
No, so yeah, we will be back next week where we will talk about the go home shows and especially that 25th anniversary special of Raw. I'm sure there will be tons of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, so well, thanks for stopping by, wrestling fans. We will see you all next week, and we'll probably do our Royal Rumble predictions as well, I would assume. So see you next week, same time, same channel.
Peace.